Hello and welcome to what is definitely episode 8 of the Comedian's Tea Party, and my guest this week is Matt Adlington, who is a very, very good friend of mine, and it was a real pleasure to have him on. Now, because he is a particularly good friend of mine, it did become sort of a matey banter at one point, and I hope that translates fairly well and becomes funny to everyone else. We enjoyed it. It was really funny, but it might sound a bit awkward, so we'll see. But I'm awkward, so it's fine. So we have a good chat in this one. I've got a lot to say about what happens in the episodes. A lot goes on. I finished the story that I started in the Carl Donnelly episode, in episode 1. We finally finished that story. So, nobody got in contact and said that they were wondering what happened in that story, but nevertheless, it's concluded. You're welcome. For some reason, the start of this episode ended up very C-bomb heavy. Don't know why, just got there. I think I've dealt with it with bleeping them out. I hope I haven't missed any. Not that it matters, because as I've said many times before, this podcast occasionally contains swearing, so, but the C-bomb's a little bit heavy, so I try and fix it where I can. Hopefully this sounds okay currently. I'm currently recording in a house where everyone else is asleep, so hopefully I don't wake anyone up. We have a good chat. We do talk about tea a little bit. He talks about the anxiety he gets when he has to choose coffee, which led him to have a sort of a sceptical view of quote unquote posh tea. We discuss the pronunciation of rooibos. We're not sure. Matt chose it as a tea because he thought it was like a sort of a translation of robots, and honestly I don't know if that's true or not, but I believe him. We talk about alternative milks and the new name that we should give them. That comes up. Listen to that bit. It's quite fun. I think we've come up with a sort of a decent alternative, but I'm very aware that there could be better names out there, so if anyone's got a better name for an alternative milk, then get in touch and let me know at Tea Party Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and I think if you type that into Facebook you can also find it there, but just search it to Comedians Tea Party, you'll find us. That is teapartypod@gmail.com if you want to email us, and that is the letter T, Party Pod. There were a couple of sound issues around that time, so apologies for that. I've already tried a couple of sort of alternative things that I think may be causing it, but I'm not entirely certain what it is as yet, so I'll continue experimenting, but please bear with me. We don't miss any sort of too important bits, I don't think, so should be fine. Matt has a very low opinion of himself a lot of the time about his comedy, and he really shouldn't, because he's very funny, but it does come up a little bit in sort of conjunction with reviews, which I did discuss briefly with Andy's story, and how reviews, they shouldn't be read by us or anyone really. They should just be read by the reviewer in their own bedroom, and I say that as someone who has as yet never been reviewed. 5 years in. I tell a lie. I think I've been reviewed once, and it's fairly positive, so do with that what you will. Matt can't pronounce Twinings, so that's interesting. I genuinely think that's a real concern. It transpires that Matt is actually a thief, so watch out for that. If you ever invite him to your house, he might steal something and then try and hide it like a psychopath. I have to apologise immediately. While we were eating biscuits, some of the noises in there were quite unpleasant to listen back to. I do have a bit of misophonia. It was unpleasant to have to edit, but I couldn't really cut it out because it is over conversation, so sorry about that. But it doesn't last for long, so please power through. Matt manages to show very little understanding in the production of a show. And that became a slightly frustrating conversation. You'll see when you get there. But hey, it's funny. That's why I left it in. But yeah, interesting. Oh, as well as a thief, turns out Matt is an incredible creep, and that is allegedly how he makes friends. But I just think it's a little bit weird. I'll do some social media plugs after the show, so please do stick around for that. But until that point, I will just say, if you are listening to this on the day of its release, because technically it is now Saturday, or just basically before 4:30 p.m. on Sunday the 7th of July 2019, then please do come down, because I mentioned that there's a live record, and this is the only podcast that's coming out before that, but I've only recently been able to confirm the special guest, and it is exactly who I was hoping for, and that is going to be Stuart Goldsmith of the Comedian's Comedian podcast, which is the first podcast that I ever listened to, and essentially got me into podcasting. So yeah, so come down, come see the sort of full circle conversation, and that's going to be at the Alex in Southend as part of the Southend Festival at 4:30 p.m. Those times have changed around, just in case you look at the website. That is slightly different to what it was showing. But yeah, if you do listen to this in time, please do come down, because it's going to be a really fun, engaging conversation with an incredible comedian. So yeah, come down, see that, enjoy yourselves. It's going to be good. Well, until I speak to you again, enjoy the show. We've normally made the tea by this point.
Yeah, let's make a tea then.
I've hit start. Yeah, let's pour the water in there. It doesn't matter that I've hit start. I can edit it out.
Water first or tea bag first?
Tea bag first, obviously.
You say obviously.
Ooh, look at that. It's all brown.
Oh, what is that? That's not normal. I'm not drinking that.
Oh, you are. You've picked it now. I'm sure it's delicious. It looks like leaves.
It's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
But it looks...
Sorry, I'm not going to keep these headphones on, by the way. I'm just getting the...
It looks like the thing that you... you know, like the capsules you put in a dishwasher? It's kind of got that kind of look to it.
A dishwasher tablet sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like a finish.
Yeah.
It looks like autumn leaves. Oh, how does it smell? I didn't smell it.
It smells like fresh packaging.
Oh no, I can smell it. It's quite nice.
I mean, it looks really dainty. I don't want to put it in boiling water.
Yeah, that'll be the.
It says it's biodegradable on the
biodegradable bag. Yeah, that's it. They've been biodegradable since they started. Which.
So what? It just dissolves in the tea? Or
no, it won't dissolve. It remains like a natural tea bag, but unlike a sort of a nylon-based bag, it'll biodegrade, which I think is what other tea bags are made of.
I've already not thought about tea this much ever in my life. This is going to be...
Welcome to This is the thing, right? I never thought this podcast was going to be this much about tea. And like that first episode I had Carl Donnelly on.
Yeah.
In fact, do you know what? Oh, this will be a good... do you know... Well, right. What I'll do is... hello and welcome to episode, I want to say 8 of the Comedian's Tea Party with Deaves. With me, Deaves, and my guest today, Matt Adlington.
If you want to say 8, you say 8. It's the 8th one.
Oh, thanks very much, man. Yeah,
no,
it might not be.
Mate. You do what you want. It's your podcast.
Might be episode 9. Could you say hello?
Hello.
To be honest with you, I think I'm going to leave that little bit of chatting before we actually started.
It's your podcast. You do what you want.
It is You're correct. That is, I am the god of this podcast.
There you go.
No, so what I was going to say there was, obviously I had Carl on the first episode.
Yes.
I never thought this podcast was going to be this much about tea, and that conversation just immediately flew into tea. He loves tea, turns out.
Right.
Like really into tea. So he's sort of got a lot of experience of tea, and he brought some fancy teacups back from... Greece or Turkey or something, which is very Carl Donnelly, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know Carl very well, but that I immediately believe
that. But I started telling the story, so it turned into talking about Carl having a really good memory.
Right.
About how, like, sort of the first time I met him, I just ran into the street and sort of he recognised me from like a brief encounter, and we started chatting, and then we ended up talking about how he had a good memory, but it was started from, and I started the story but never finished it, when you ran into him in Sydney. Was it Sydney?
Melbourne Comedy Festival, yeah.
Yeah, because you were just sat, because you used to book gigs, right? With
I used to book gigs with Ross McGrain, who you've also had in the podcast.
2 episodes ago.
And so we used to book Carl, and this would have been, I think, when he was first starting out, or at least fairly early doors. So we would have been, I want to say he was a middle spot back then.
Yeah.
He might have been opening.
So how long ago were you booking that?
I was
what?
18, 19, so it was a good 14 years ago now, 15 years ago.
Yeah, that must have been when he was starting.
Yeah. I must be. Anyway, very good act. And then I didn't see him for a couple of years. Bumped into him in Edinburgh when I was up there as a punter.
Yeah.
And then when I went out to Melbourne with my girlfriend Tiff, we went to the comedy festival, went and saw a load of shows. Went to this compilation show at a theatre, I can't remember the name of it. And Carl walked on, and I nudged Tiff, and I went, "Oh, I know him a little bit."
Yeah.
And she went, "Oh, we should say hello afterwards." I went, "Oh, he probably won't remember. It was years ago." And he stopped mid-set and spotted me full throw and went, "Oh, hello, Matt. How you doing, mate? You all right?"
Oh, amazing.
Like, yeah, I'm fine. I got really all right. Starstruck.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's
Yeah.
Can I swear on here? Probably not.
You can swear on it. Every use of the C-bomb so far, I have bleeped out.
Cool.
Because I've found it enjoyable.
I don't actually think he's I didn't mean to say that. I just felt like
I don't think anybody does. He's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Like after his episode, his friend came round to visit him, and it was Pancake Day, and I had to get off to Wales to record the second episode with Sarah Breeze and do a gig. And her friend said, "Aren't you going to make him a pancake, Carl?" And he went, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Do you want a pancake?" Oh, thanks very much.
Yes,
yeah, great.
Love that vegan one as well. I imagine. Banana one.
Maybe I can't remember. It was delicious though.
I imagine Carl Donnelly's got an amazing vegan pancake.
Oh
recipe.
God, he's probably got about 40. He's a good cook. What was I going to say? What were we talking about before?
Tea.
Tea. Yeah, you like tea?
I don't drink a lot of tea anymore. I used to drink loads,
Yeah.
but like, I don't drink cow's milk.
Oh,
anymore.
sorry. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
Yeah, on
Same
Ross.
to you.
Yes. So Ross McGrain's episode has just come out.
Yeah.
But I made it a game on that to bleep out every swear word.
What that Ross McGrain said.
Yeah.
So it's one big bleep podcast.
It was a lot of bleeps. Like, cause he suggested early on it'd be funny, and I was like, "Oh, that would be funny." So I led him to tell that story of the gig at Peggy Sue's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one with the big.
Yeah. And this is the
I've got to stop saying that word.
greatest use of that word so far.
Do you know, I've pretty much stopped swearing. I just almost exclusively say cunt now.
On this podcast.
Well, no,
Just in general.
Generally, it's bad. It's not good. I've got to stop. Sorry, Mum.
Yeah. What are you calling her? Oh.
No, absolutely
Good
not.
grief.
She hates. I remember that's when I knew that was the worst swear word ever because
You called your mum
no, I called my brother one when I was younger.
Yeah.
And we got into a bit of a scuffle as young brothers will.
Yeah.
And
So I'm just laughing based on the last story that you told me of you and your brother when he stopped your semi-professional football career.
oh yeah, let's not talk about that.
No.
But yeah, so then my mum come in to break up the fight. We was at her work, and she was like, "Oh," she was having a go at my brother, going, "You can't do that. You can't say that. Why would you do that?" And then because I don't think he'd ever heard the word at that point.
Yeah.
Because he called me a. And then my mum looked at me, and it wasn't even anger; it was like proper disappointment.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly a disappointing son. As a
No. Hey.
but to see that level of disappointment, I knew I'd done wrong. So yeah,
Oh, man.
no, that's all I refer to him as now.
Yeah.
What
met him, I know.
Can I drink this now? I'm actually genuinely thirsty.
You can drink it. I will warn you, that's going to be hot. Because all we've done is put boiling water on a tea bag.
I've got like,
You've got a high threshold for hot water.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got a particularly low threshold.
No, that's all right. That's normal drinking temperature.
For you, maybe, yeah. I can feel from the outside that was too hot for my finger.
It doesn't really taste that much. I'm going to be honest with you, Si.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only been in there for a couple.
Oh, does that make a difference? See, this is what I mean. I have no
brew it
idea.
for longer.
Do you know? I only ever drink. What do you call normal tea? Like Yorkshire tea, PG Tips. What is that? What is that?
Well, I actually disagree with the classification of morning tea. What is it? Breakfast tea?
I don't know.
Because everyone calls it breakfast tea, English breakfast tea. It's bollocks, isn't it? Because I have it all day long.
It's an all day tea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just tea.
See,
That's what you call that.
I've never really been in the circles where people would refer to it as breakfast tea. It's just, do you want a cup of tea?
Yeah.
So, and it's always the same.
I just always get it whenever I order a tea at like a sort of Costa or whatever services. They always say, "What, a breakfast tea?" Just like, shove it up your ass.
Yeah, see, I don't order tea from there because I don't see the point in
Yeah,
paying
because it's
more than
£76.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll just get it from the conglomerate with the M.
Sure,
Yeah.
right? But the other reason why I don't do that is my first experience of buying posh tea. I must have been about 16, 17, and I walked into a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Other coffee shops are available. And,
Please use them.
and I didn't want coffee because there were too many options for coffee, and that scared me.
Yeah.
So I went, I'll just have a tea, please. And the girl behind the counter looked at me and she went, what, like an Earl Grey? And I went, yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah, sure. So she gave me this Earl Grey tea.
Yeah. Did you put milk in it?
I put milk in it, and it was disgusting, obviously. But this is the first.
You can have milk in Earl Grey.
Someone told me that sometime afterwards, and I thoroughly disagree.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No, it was very.
I've done it once.
Very unpleasant, and that put me off posh teas for a long time. I'd refer to that as a posh tea.
This one.
Well, anything
anything
that's
fancy
not
tea is what we call it occasionally.
okay. Anything other than breakfast tea is posh tea.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's fair.
So that experience, because I felt I was so self-conscious. I remember having the tea at the milk and sugar station and looking over my shoulder to see if anyone was judging me.
See if you're doing it right.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know. It turns out I wasn't, and I wish someone would have stopped me.
Yeah.
It put me off tea for a long time. So I don't have green tea. But
Right.
I recently started drinking peppermint tea because of Ash Frith.
Why didn't you? Well, you know I've got loads of peppermint tea, right? You could have chosen that.
But I had one of those like an hour ago. I was
Right.
down.
Want to try something new?
I was down the radio station about an hour ago.
Yes.
And I stole a peppermint tea from the cupboard.
Naughty.
Well, I stole the tea bag.
Yeah.
And then drank water with the tea bag in it.
Yeah. You're allowed the water.
Yeah.
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 You're not allowed the tea bags, or have you just never checked?
Well, then they're not mine. I'm not paying for them.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not contributing in any way.
Yeah.
And I'll do that thing where I take them out the packet and then hide them at the bottom of the recycling bin,
Right.
so no one knows. I mean, they know because there's no tea left.
Yeah, that sounds like the sort of something a murderer would do.
Well, yeah. I mean, you
Put the body at the bottom of the bin.
Oh, I thought
No
you
one
meant
would have
like
checked.
long hard day murdering. Better steal some tea.
You and I think in very different ways.
I'm just thinking how knackered I'd be if I'd murdered a load of people. I'd want a cup of
I'm not
tea.
talking about loads of people.
Oh.
Like one per... This isn't... I'm not promoting genocide. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. These conversations always go weird. Every single one so far, at some point, it's gone a little bit weird.
What are you putting in
This
the tea?
one.
Do you like your mug, by the way? I bought that especially for you.
I do like it. And
Do you want to talk us through it?
yeah, I'm going to put... I'll put a photo of this on the old Instagram.
Sure.
And Matt is a vegan.
I didn't say it.
No, he didn't say it, no. But I'm pretty sure that's why he brought up the mug, so that he didn't have to say it. He's got a scapegoat. Ironic scape. What's that? Like a scape tofu?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Scape corn.
Scape corn. Yeah, basically the mug has got a really cute picture of would you say that's a sheep or a lamb? What's the difference?
One's a grown up, the other's a...
Is that what it is?
I think so.
A lamb's a baby sheep?
Yeah.
I feel like we should...
Yeah, lamb's a baby sheep.
like we should have that knowledge.
Yeah, lamb.
I'm saying it confidently.
Lamb is a baby sheep.
I'm going to look it up, and if we're both wrong...
It's true, you don't eat sheep, do you? Where they call it mutton.
Yeah.
You eat lamb because it's baby and tender.
Yeah, well, you say you eat lamb, but lamb upsets me. So...
It upsets me and all, mate. I can't...
yeah. So there's a lamb and a little chick and a pig and a cow, and they all look really cute, but like a little bit sad. Actually, that bird looks really angry, and it says, "Don't eat us, you sick."
There you go.
Yeah.
So you can not only drink tea, but feel guilty while doing it.
Yeah. yeah. That's assuming that I have any level of morals. So.
Whereas I've got "Don't worry, tea happy," because it's a golf mug.
Right.
And I played golf once, so then I told my mum I played golf like 4 times. So one Christmas, I got lots of golf stuff.
Amazing.
I don't know if I like it. What is this tea called again?
Oh, this tea is, hey, it's supplied by Teapigs. No, I'll try it again. It's supplied by Teapigs. So thanks very much, Teapigs, for, again, sending me tea. Very kind. Please send me more. Because they've started doing a cold brew range. And it looks really interesting. And I want them to send it to me.
Cold tea?
Yeah. Brews in the cold. So it's like a nice summer drink.
That's just flavoured water, mate. They do that already.
No, well, you're wrong.
It's like iced tea, right? Like, yeah, Okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
can tell
But
what we're talking
but
about.
with iced tea, you cool it down. Cold brew
Ah.
tea, you make it cold. I think that's correct. I've never had iced tea, so I don't know. So this one is Teapigs Red Bush, which is honeybush and rooibos.
I mean, I chose it because it had the funniest name.
Yeah, well, you chose it because you thought it was French for honeybush and robots.
That's what I thought. Honey, yeah. Well, how'd you say it?
Rooibos, I think.
Rooibos.
I think that is a conversation that I wanted to bring up because we tried pronouncing it before we started.
It's spelled Roobos.
I imagine if anyone drinks tea and listens to this podcast, they know how to pronounce it. But Sarah Breeze pronounced it really confidently, and then I forgot how she pronounced it, and I should listen back really.
Oh, what? So this is what Rooibos is in. I'm going to say it differently each time. Rooibos is in different teas as well, is it?
Rooibos. I don't know, but she was just talking about it. We weren't drinking it. We were drinking a different one.
She says nutty overtones of Rooibos. I don't remember getting nutty from it.
I don't know. I've not tried it yet. It still feels too hot.
No, I'm nearly done. Do you want a biscuit? Is it too early for a biscuit?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I've just tasted it for the record, and that it's a mild flavour, isn't it? It's just, I can taste the nuts. There's something there that's like a little bit.
Sorry, mate. Let me just zip.
What is it with you people? Yeah, no, that is it's a very mild flavour, but I'd say not unpleasant.
I mean, it tastes like Yorkshire tea with no milk in it.
No.
That's
because
why.
that tastes quite bitter. Just normal tea.
This tastes like normal tea with no milk in it to me, man. I'm really sorry. I'm struggling to get anything more out of it.
Years of smoking and.
I quite like the pretty colour it's making. It's red, hence the red bush.
Yeah. Oh, that sip, tasty. It's a little bit.
Is this what this podcast is? Is every sip is just you go ooh?
Yeah, change my opinion on it every time.
Okay, I'm still not a fan.
Yeah. I speaking of, because you asked me if I wanted if we were going to be using milk on this podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, a conversation I have quite often is like sort of about alternative milks. Cause, ideally, I'd like to sort of move away from dairy milk.
Okay.
That said, I like chocolate, so it's an issue. But there's less milk in dairy chocolate.
Don't try and justify it, mate.
Than there is milk in a cup of tea. Surely.
No idea.
That makes sense to me.
You
probably wrong.
Just murder and rape a little bit. It's much
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
Just enough to get my fix. Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about murdering people to then steal tea earlier. So who am I to
murdering several people at that.
Yeah.
So your go-to milk substitute is.
It varies depending on what.
Is it not always rice milk?
It certainly started off that way.
Yeah.
And I find that rice milk is the most versatile of the dairy.
Okay.
So it goes with cereal, go in your tea and your coffee.
Yeah.
Mashed potato.
Right. Okay.
But
I can see it going with mashed potato.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I've started to vary it up a bit. So, Tiff loves oat milk in coffee.
This is what I've heard. I've heard oat milk is the best for tea.
It's very nice. Well, for tea,
and it's the only one that doesn't split.
He doesn't curdle. I find that most of them don't curdle as long as you put the milk in first. That's the trick.
Okay.
Obviously, that is sacrilegious for some tea makers.
Well, funny you should say that actually, because John Oakes said that there are some tea makers who insist that you should infuse the tea bag in the milk first before you put the water in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it works well with dairy alternatives. It doesn't separate as much.
Yeah.
And you let the water cool a little bit as well before you pour it. Not obviously cold, but
just
like, 30 seconds,
just a
whatever,
bit,
not straight. But for tea, for breakfast tea, for Yorkshire tea, hemp milk.
Hemp milk?
Oh, yes.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what else it goes on as well. Like honey nut cornflakes.
Yeah?
That kind of thing, yeah.
Hemp milk?
Hemp milk, mate. It is the future.
Thing is, I used to work in theatre where we used hemp rope a lot. and I had strands of hemp go in my mouth regularly, and it tastes horrendous.
Not in milk form, mate. You got to milk it. That's the thing. You wouldn't. You wouldn't just go and like.
That's the problem. I was pulling the ropes, not squeezing it.
Well, there you go, mate. You wouldn't just go and put a cow's udder in your mouth and expect it to taste good, would you? You got to milk the hemp.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but it's really nice. It's got like this like a chalky, almost chalky sort of aftertaste when it's in tea, but not in an unpleasant way. Not chalky
Right, that sounds disgusting.
Not chalky as in texture.
Right.
How can I explain it better?
The taste of chalk.
No, I don't know if chalk's the right word now I've said it.
I feel like it's not.
You know, like that. If you know the milk bottle sweets when you're a kid.
Yes.
And you know, like the powder that kind of went over it.
Yes.
It's kind of that taste.
So it tastes like the powdered
milk. Like if it's an aftertaste when you're drinking the tea, it's quite sweet.
Interesting.
It's very nice. I'm sure I'm doing a terrible job of explaining.
Absolutely intrigued.
Yeah, you should absolutely try it. It's very, very nice. But I haven't bought it for a long time.
Okay.
Milk.
Well, I mean, do it at some point, and I'll come around and try it.
Yeah, mate. Put it in your porridge as well.
Then I'll talk about it on the podcast.
Get hemp in your porridge as well. That's where it's at.
I mean, that sounds disgusting, purely because I know of the hemp rope.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring it up is a friend of mine and a listener of the podcast, Mark Williams. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? I was going to say, you might know Mark. I doubt it.
I know him enough.
Do you?
Well, I know his name. How much can you really know someone?
Yeah. I mean, he is the person that I've known the longest.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate.
Other than people in my family.
I
realise this because
I'm really
I went
sorry for you, Mark Williams. That must be a terrible,
I went to school
burden.
with him, and primary school and nursery school.
In that order?
Yes. Yeah. We do it backwards in Rochford.
Yeah. Give me 6.
Now, the reason I bring it up, Mark Williams, a friend of mine, he sent me a series of messages. First of all, he started off saying like he was really enjoying the podcast. He's listening to it at work. I'm like, brilliant. That feels good. And then he went on somewhat of a rant about calling milk substitutes milk because it's not milk. Because he's a vegan, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's vegan. Or is at least he was vegan and he's vegetarian. It's one of them. He was suggesting a different name because like calling it a milk substitute sounds like you're disappointed with the milk. You want milk, but like milk, but you can have this if you want, that sort of, and I understand that, but he suggested that we come up with a different name for it so that it still sounds superior.
Okay.
So do you have any suggestions for rebranding of milk? I thought mulk. I don't like mulk. He suggested...
Mulk sounds like the sort of stuff you get if you've had like leaves on the ground for too long and you lift them up underneath. It's gone mulky.
Yeah, and it smells like wood lice.
Yeah.
It's
gone a bit mulky.
He suggested plant juice with water, which is what it is. I mean, basically.
Yeah, but that's only what it is because that's what
it's made of.
There's no better word to describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. So should there be a different name, do you think? Because milk substitute, he has a point. It's making it sound like, you can't have milk. You can have something almost as good. And that's not we should be empowering this milk. Because once you start comparing it to milk, it suddenly becomes milk, doesn't it? That's the...
I mean, I'm lost. A different.
I'm aware that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. A different name for milk. I don't know. Nut juice, but then it's not all from nuts, is it?
It's not all from nuts. No,
it's a shame because nut juice would definitely be my.
Like hemp milk, for instance, not from nuts, from hemp.
From hemp, yeah. And people have a problem with it, aren't they? Because you go, you can't really milk a nut, and you can't milk hemp because they're talking about milk.
Maybe they should have separate. Like sections, so like nut milk and plant milk. But as he points out, you're not milking it; you're crushing it in you.
So pressed plant juice.
Pressed plant juice.
PPJ.
There you
go, PPJ.
Yeah, big old glass of hemp PPJ.
That's it. Can I have tea with PPJ and 2 sugars, please?
Yeah. Now, if anyone has any better ideas, tweet us. It's at Tea Party Pod, which is the letter Tea Party Pod. Also, don't forget to include me. That's at Deaves. And is it Matt Adlington?
On Twitter, it's Matt Adlington.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
It's
Oh,
Matty
sorry, I
Ad-
just slammed that down.
That's
and
fine.
You purposely brought these so that it didn't make a noise. And
Yeah, but that was, I mean, think of how loud that would have been if there wasn't the coaster.
So on Twitter it's
is
at Matt Adlington.
Is it still Matty Ads 05 on?
I think it's Matt Adlington 5, I think.
Oh.
I don't know.
What's with the 5? Was that your number in...
That was my preferred squad number when I was playing football. But
Semi-professional football?
Well, see, as I tried to move up the leagues, I was not as good comparatively to my teammates. So I never really got the choice of a number as I moved up the league. So when I was playing for like Basildon United reserves mostly, I think I was number 32.
Oh, okay.
And I tried to. I was like, well, 3 plus 2 still counts.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to get a little plus sign in the middle of it on the back of my shirt. So yeah, 5 is my lucky number, and it works as well. When I've been travelling around the world, I've done a bit of travelling. Whenever we got short of funds, we go into a casino with like our last $10 or whatever.
Oh God, yeah, that happened in Leicester.
Yeah. And I've done this in Melbourne. I've done it in Macau,
right,
which is like the Vegas of Asia, if you're not familiar. And I've done it in Bali as well, I think. Just stroll in there with our last sort of $10, whack it on number 5, and hope it comes in every single time it come in.
Yeah, because we were at the Leicester Comedy Festival this year. No, last year. It was last year.
Okay.
It
was last year.
Yeah, we went up for your show.
My show,
wasn't it?
Yeah. Welcome, Matt.
Yeah. Which was that last time you did it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I did one preview. I did that show, which I very, very lately.
It's very good.
Stuck in a work in progress in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And never did it again, and probably never will.
Well, you should do. It's good. It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good title.
It was a good title.
Yeah, considering I'm not only because obviously as your debut show that is welcoming Matt.
Yeah.
Additionally, it's about you buying a house.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to sell it anymore, so yeah, but that is what it is.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do if not that?
Well, just because it's a good title, just because you can doesn't mean so you should. A lot
yes,
of the time.
that is true.
And I decided that I shouldn't, so I haven't.
You should though. It was good. No.
Do you know?
You know as well as what I do that as my friend, I wouldn't say that to you, unless it was good, because you know I'd tell you it was shit if it's shit.
It's one of those. I think it was more of like an interesting story rather than a funny show. Which
there's good. It was funny though.
It had funny moments in it because a lot of the jokes that I use in my club set are in there, and I like those jokes. But what I just did that horrible thing that a lot of people do when they haven't got an hour show is they take their 20-minute They take their 20-minute set and basically put a load of filler in between their gags and hope that you can get by on a bit of a wink and a prayer. I'm not ashamed to admit that. That is what I did because I did not write a show when I should have done.
Yeah, I would argue that a good chunk of it you did write for it though, eventually. Because you did it in a different format before for Southend the year before, did you not?
I honestly can't remember.
I can't remember either.
The preview I did in Southend, I literally just said every idea that I had. And I think I started with my normal 20 to try and get the laughs and get my confidence up. And then just told a few extra stories that happened while I was travelling. And it was very fun. I enjoyed telling it.
Yeah.
Don't think it was very funny. That's the problem. Not in a stand-up format. I think. Do you know what? I think it might work as a sketch show. A series of sketches. Something I've been toying with lately.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Nice. Yeah, cool. I can't remember how I got onto that. Oh yeah, Leicester. So you were up in Leicester. You were doing your show.
Yeah.
Then you, Ross McGrain, and I. We were all up there. We were just hanging out. Just went up to watch Matt's show. Thought we'd have a night out as well. Watch some shows, and then we saw Matt's show, and then went to go and get a couple of drinks. Went to the casino. We had a few drinks. Matt won a load of money. Decided we were going to have a big night out, and then went back to the hotel and fell asleep.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was exhausted from telling my unfunny show.
Hey, Steve Bennett didn't dislike it.
Well, I don't think that's wholly true. Let's not. I really would rather not talk about that, man.
Hey, I mean,
He's responsible for the only 2 reviews that I am aware of myself.
No, you only got 1 review. The other one was a review of
Oh yeah, Matt Arlington.
Arlington, yeah.
Who's that prick?
Yeah, no idea, but he took the flak for...
Steve Bennett reviewed me on... I think that was... when he called me Matt Arlington, I think that was my 5th gig.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you not know the story?
Well, I mean, I'm reasonably certain you've told it to me a few times, but for the sake of the podcast, go ahead.
So, I drove Ross up to the... Leicester again it was. I drove Ross up to the Leicester Comedy Festival because Ross was in a competition up there at the Cookie Comedy Club.
Oh, right.
And... well, long story short, someone didn't turn up, and Ross went, "Oh, Matt's just started gigging. He can gig." So I went, "Yeah, sure, whatever." I didn't know what I was getting myself in for, and the format of the competition was very, very strange. You had to go up, and they said, "Just go up there and tell everyone about yourself for 2 minutes."
What?
And then we'll get you back on in a little while, and you'll do like your 3 minute set, and that was your 5 minutes on stage.
Christ alive.
Now, but at the time, I don't know, so it was my 5th, maybe 6th gig. I didn't have 5 minutes. I had 3 minutes, and I was hoping that I could drag it out.
3 minutes and 2 minutes on.
So
being a semi-professional footballer.
So I watched. I can't even remember the name of the act now. I watched the first 2 go up, and one of them just spoke about him, did what he was meant to do, spoke about himself. The other went up there and did what I assumed was the first 2 minutes of his set.
Right.
And obviously, everyone loved the fact that he had jokes in it rather than, "Hi, my name's Barry, I'm from Leicester and I live around the corner." So Ross went up there and basically MC'd it. So he didn't really do his gags, but he didn't just stand there and talk. He tried to talk to them, and I don't think they were really ready for it.
Right.
So I went up there and did the first 2 minutes, and because it had actual jokes in it, it got really good reception. And at that point, I looked at Ross, and Ross looked very worried that I might progress and he wouldn't, because I got a bigger reaction. And then, obviously, that was all of the good stuff that I had at the time. So the next time I touched the microphone, it was to silence.
Yeah.
And found out Steve Bennett was in the audience.
Yeah.
Writing a lovely little review of my 5th or 6th gig.
And about Matt Arlington.
And how terrible he was. And right he was. I think he compared Ross to Sean Walsh or Craig Campbell, one of the 2 at the time as well.
Interesting.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
Shows you what he knows.
Well, I've got to this point. We've been going pretty much exactly the same length of time.
We have.
Yeah.
We met at my 2nd gig.
Is that your 2nd gig? Yeah, at Pegasus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you told me to come and do this night in Southend because we realised that I knew your brother.
That was it.
And you were like, "Oh yeah, come meet Ross McGrain. Like he'll book you." And then you sent me a message and said, "Book him." And I came down.
Yeah.
And now we're all friends.
And he's never forgiven me.
Yeah. It does bring it up surprisingly often. Feels good. Oh, that's what I started saying. We started the same time. Oh yeah, and I've still got to this point about Steve Bennett reviewing me.
Probably for the best, mate.
Yeah.
He doesn't like saying nice things about nice people.
Probably for the best, mate, because you're shit.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Your ego doesn't need it.
Well, this is the thing. It was crushing. I remember the 2nd review he wrote about me. I was driving back from Leicester with you and Ross in the car, and the review come through, and I can't remember if it was you or Ross, because it's all a bit of a blur, read the first line to me, and the first line was actually really nice.
Yeah.
I think it was saying Matt Adlington is full of Essex boy charm or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
The quote that's now on your website.
Yeah. And I remember hearing that thinking, "Oh, thank God he didn't hate it." And then he just slated it for 4 paragraphs.
No, he didn't.
And then he went, "But he's a nice guy and you can tell he's quite funny, so maybe sometime in the future."
He mentioned that you should have mentioned that it was a work in progress, which was fair enough. Yeah.
But
he said,
in my defence, moving away from in my defence, I only applied for the Leicester Comedy Festival about 5 minutes before the deadline.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to you actually on the night, saying, "Shall I go for it?" And you went, "Yeah, why not, mate?" And then the application was hours long.
Yeah.
So it took me forever to do. And I've never done it before. I didn't know. I had never even really considered a work in progress concept at a festival. I thought you go to all festivals with your finished show.
Yeah.
obviously I know now, no one does that.
Yeah, nobody.
Most people, I've seen a lot of people doing work in progress shows up in Edinburgh now, which I think is weird.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot, and I have seen that for years. But additionally, people go up there with like their show sort of pretty much written, but that first week is sort of somewhat considered the sort of the grace period, and people are still writing their shows and like polishing it and that.
But then you can't. I mean, I know a lot of people do free festivals now, but if you're not doing a free festival, if that first week the show's not ready, I don't see.
Oh yeah, you could. You can't do that. Like, because there's the first few days before the official festival kicks off, and some people go up there and sort of they'll do stuff then.
That's fine.
And that's okay.
You can call that a preview or a work in progress. That's absolutely fine. I don't know. I got real weird principles when it comes to that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
They're just very militant, I think.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go into it now because people won't like me. Basically, I think I'm right and you're wrong. Whatever you think.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you think that, that's all.
Yeah. That's it. Not only do I think it, I believe it.
Yeah.
You finished your tea?
Yes, I've just finished it. And do you know what? It was alright.
It was okay. I will say I feel more thirsty now than I did before I drank the tea. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's kind of dried my tongue out a bit.
I'm about the same.
I
would say that I would drink it again if it was offered to me, but if there was a list of that and other teas, I'd probably buy something else. That would be my sort of ultimate review of it. It was nice. It was nice, but it wasn't delicious.
You can have this as iced tea.
That is something that I could see myself having every day.
You can have this as iced tea. I can see it being nice as an iced tea.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Actually, that would be nice.
Yeah. Garnished with
lemon.
Look,
that answered my question of earlier. Just top up glass with iced water.
Very weird. Don't understand it. That was okay. Do you want a biscuit?
Yeah, let's have a biscuit.
So I stole these.
Oh.
Well, I didn't steal these.
From the cupboard at work?
No, not even from work. From a very, very posh hotel in London.
Amazing. Well, you got it, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, like standard thing when you go to a kettle.
Right, we're doing tea bag number 2.
Yeah.
Is it Twinings or Twinings?
Twinings. Twinings would have 2 ends.
It has got 2 ends.
You've just made that noise you just made suggested that you've just lost a bet.
Oh, I'm annoyed. I would say Twinings.
Oh, why would you say Twinings?
Because you spelled twin, Twin.
Yeah.
And then it's ings on the end.
Right, I understand. But you would have 2 ends if it's Twinings.
I mean, it has got 2 ends in it.
Think of not those 2. It would have 3 ends. 2 ends
Whoa,
together.
Oh, that is.
Is it a strong smell?
That is very gingery.
It is very gingery. My word.
I'm not sure I'm going to like this one. I chose this tea because of the biscuits that I brought.
Yeah.
From the posh hotel.
Let's have a look. What's the ingredients?
Ugh.
Ingredients. So for this one, we're having a Twinings. We're shaking it up. Welcome back, by the way. We're back. We're having a Twinings Defence from their Super Blends range. So thanks again to Twinings for sending me free tea. Please don't scold me.
Thanks, Twinings.
Twinings. Yeah, Matt doesn't know how to pronounce Twinings, so that's fun. So this one, it's Twinings Defence. The flavours are citrus and ginger with green tea and echinacea.
See, I wouldn't have pronounced it echinacea either.
Right, well that's how it's pronounced. So.
I would have pronounced that inchinacea.
Yeah, well, inchinacea.
No, I would have put an extra N in there. The N's.
Yeah, and you'd have missed the A.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's how I would have said it.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yes, I believe you. Echinacea is a tall plant with famously bright flowers and a spiky middle. People all over the world have used echinacea root for hundreds of years. I think it's quite good for digestion or something. 26% green tea, 15% ginger root, white hibiscus, cinnamon bark, natural lemon flavouring with other natural flavourings, 10%. Yeah. Echinacea root, 9%. Lemon peel, 5%. Lemon peel.
I mean, it sounds
natural
more...
flavouring, natural lime flavouring, 4%. Vitamin C, 2%.
It sounds more like a hippie stew rather than a tea. tree bark in it.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound bad. Yeah, so this tea, it's got ginger in, which is why you suggested having that, because we have the little ginger biscuits that
I got these biscuits from a very posh hotel in London, and I went away with a...
Matt's just now showing off that he has the
I
ability
didn't pay for it. It was a work do.
book out.
I had to check they were still in date because it was quite a long time ago. It was for a work do.
Right.
And they paid for it all in there, and I thought, well, I've got to get something from this trip because the course was boring. So I stole the biscuits.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried them yet. I'm not a big fan of ginger.
Should we do it at the same time?
Yeah, but right. So here's the other thing that I don't know. Hang on. Before you do, normally, if I've got a cup of tea and a biscuit,
you dunk.
I dunk it.
Right. I mean, that's a conversation that we have all the time.
Right.
On the show.
Okay. But is that acceptable to do in a ginger and whatever it was tea? Ginger and citrus tea?
I don't think so.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Or you can do whatever you want. Yeah, you are a free man. I think you're an idiot, but...
Oh, this is like Starbucks all over again with people judging me. It's very soggy. It feels soggier because it looks more like water than tea at the moment.
No, it's nice. Just tastes like a sort of ginger snap. It's mild ginger, actually. It's got a mild flavour.
I mean, that was horrible. Don't ever dunk biscuits in...
I'm really glad I didn't do it.
There's something about breakfast tea that makes the water thicker. Because this tea, is too watery for dunking, which is why it's weird.
Probably the milk.
This biscuit's soggy. It's falling apart in my hand now.
It's probably the milk, Matt.
But But is it just any milk? Because when I have PPJ in my tea, that still feels thicker.
I'm so glad that's a thing.
It still feels thicker. Do you know what I mean? Alright. Putting this biscuit in that tea felt like I was just putting a biscuit in water.
Yeah, but
I've
milk
done it a second time.
or PPJ are both thicker than water anyway. So they're going to thicken it up.
Right.
Some PPJ is thicker than other PPJ.
But because you put so little in, I didn't really think it would make that much difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't look at me like that, mate. You're doing a podcast about tea. I'm trying to talk about tea.
Absolutely, no, I appreciate it. No, I'm just trying to cover up the fact that I was still chewing that biscuit. It was nice. I liked it. Did you have a chew of it in yours as well?
Yeah, it was nice. I prefer the biscuit to the tea, I think. I mean...
Yeah, well, you've not drunk tea yet.
Sorry,
so
Twinings.
Hard to say Twinings. Yeah, good.
So what have you been up to then, Si? Tell me about you.
Just been gigging, been previewing Size Matters.
Right, okay, so we're back to this again. Now, you've done a full run of Size Matters.
No.
Oh. So this is a technicality you're getting away on, right?
Well, it's not a technicality at all. I'm still writing it. The difference being I've applied to do it at Edinburgh, but I've just not had the room.
But so how long has Size Matters as a show been in existence for?
I did the first run of it at the old Southend Comedy Festival when it was still in December.
So that was like what? 2 years ago?
Like 17 months. No, 19 months, the other way.
I mean, you're not previewing that anymore, are you? So let's have it right.
Yeah, I'm still writing it. Changed it a bit recently. Yeah, I change it all the time. Until I've done a run of it. That being said, at this point, I don't think it's even going to get to Edinburgh. I think what I'm going to try and do is do a little tour of it, sort of post-Edinburgh time.
So it will constantly
Tour
be
it
a
about.
preview?
No. No, because by that point I'll have written it. Once I've learned, basically it's written now, and I just need to learn it. So it's getting there. It's pretty much a show.
To be fair, it's taken you as long as what some people tour a show for to write it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but the thing is...
So, your podcast and I'm trying to call you out for taking time, mate.
Oh, no, God forbid. Yeah, I mean, you've been going the same length of time as me and you've done one preview of one show.
Yeah, because I realised I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, whereas I realised that I did want to do it. I mean, I should point out this is my second show as well in this time.
Yeah. What was the first one again? Oh yeah, Leaves with a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Leaves.
And I've already started writing the next show.
When you have, no, this. Just concentrate on the second one, mate.
No, I've written it.
This is what I mean. If you started writing your third one, then you can't. You're not previewing the second one. This is one of my things, Si.
Well, I mean, you're wrong.
I am not wrong.
Yes, you are. That what?
Because,
I mean, why?
Because what? So you're still adding material to the second show, but you're also adding material for the third show. So
because I've got material for the third show that wouldn't fit in the second show.
But you haven't finished the second show, so it would fit. You're talking
No,
about
because
in
it's
a
different.
narrative.
Yeah, it wouldn't thematically fit. Imagine I'm doing a show about sort of various issues and that, as I do in Size Matters, and then all of a sudden I start talking about shoes.
I mean, shoes.
Which could be an issue. Yes, I know. I realise now that it's a vague subject matter.
So take whatever you've done for your third show, put it in your second show. Second show done.
But it's already done.
So then it's not a preview.
No, but I'm still learning it. So it's
for 17
I
months, though.
Imagine going to see, right? Imagine going to see a theatre show, because theatres, this is what many people don't realise. Obviously, I worked in theatre, so I've seen it all. But like theatre shows, plays, all that sort of thing, they all do previews. They have a preview season where they learn the show.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine going to that and they said, yeah, this is a completely finished show, and then they get sort of a little bit into it and go, I can't remember that long. What? It's like, you'd be annoyed, wouldn't you?
You would be. Does their preview season last 17 months?
19 months.
Does it really?
No, I've just said mine has lasted 19 months.
Oh.
No, but that's just how long I've been writing the show. But some people are still writing their first show who've been going considerably longer than I have.
I'm only putting your winkle, mate.
You're
it's so easy. It's so easy to do. I'm only joking, mate. You do what you want. It's your podcast, your
thanks.
show.
I believe I will. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, mate. It's getting booked a reasonable amount. So
I'm having a good time. I hope you haven't put anything in my tea.
Yeah. No, not yet. No.
Well, you put ginger in it, you sadistic bastard.
I mean, what's your favourite joke about long mirrors in Candy?
Oh, this is a reference to...
yeah, sorry, since you've been berating me, I thought I'd just bring up times that you've died on your ass.
Well, yeah, but don't you think that's such a roll, right? A roll of the dice, right? So what Si's referring to here for people that are listening, which I'm assuming is only people that we both know anyway. But
it's not.
I'm joking.
I've got listeners all over the world, mate.
I'm sure you have. No, but so we did a gig together in a lovely little place called Canvey Island, which if you don't know, you should definitely visit. It's got an airport very close by. Go to it.
Yes, it is in London, the airport.
Yeah.
It's not.
I try and do this thing when I start a gig, which I'm sure it's commonly referred to as this, but I call it being in the room. Yeah, I'm sure that's a common.
Yeah.
That's a common phrase.
You call it that because Ash Frith told you to call it that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Right. So that's how I learned it, but I don't know if that's a common phrase. I assume it is. It's not very nice, is it?
It's okay. I'll let it settle.
But anyway, I went through this phase. This was back when we did this gig. I just heard, or just learned about it, or been told about it, and I was trying to do it more, to the point where I was forcing myself to do it every gig.
Yes.
And
I remember that period.
Yeah. And it was terrible.
Classic Adlington, is what we call it.
Yeah. Or Arlington.
Classic Arlington, yeah. Anything that goes wrong is Matt Arlington.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, so there's not always something to be in the room about. Is there?
You could try. No, there's not.
But I tried.
No,
absolutely. And I talked about it.
You were right to try it. No, you weren't. You weren't right to try.
I was not right. But I'll tell you, I did a gig on Saturday in a place called... the name is important, so I'm going to look it up. Hang on. Hawkinge. Hawkinge, right, in Kent. I did a gig there, and I was thinking, is there anything in the room that I could talk about?
Yeah.
Right. When I walk on stage, so it's more like a conversation. Blah blah blah. And the only thing I could think of was
long mirrors in their toilets.
No, the only thing I could think of was Hawkinge sounds like Hawk Minge. Right. So I said to one of the other comics.
So you getting paid for the gig?
Yep.
God.
I said to another one of the comics,
No, you didn't.
I did. I said, "Is saying Hawk Minge funny?" And he went, "Nah." He went, "They've probably all heard that a million times." I went, "Well, I'm going to try it then." And I did. And I tell you what, I got a big laugh. And I had a great gig. So this is what I mean. It's rolling the dice. Sometimes, I mean, I'm aware that that's terrible.
Mate,
I'm aware that's terrible, by the way. I'm aware that is terrible.
Good. Okay, as long as you know.
But
you still did good. So.
But it was one of those. It was one of those gigs where it was in a cricket club, cricket and social club. So they all knew each other.
Right.
They go there at least every week, maybe every night. I don't know. It was a small little village. So if you go up there and start doing a polished set, I don't think that looks right in that environment. You need to reference the fact that it's a conversation and that, you know, these are thoughts that you've had. And do you know what I mean?
Was it a new material night?
No.
Right, okay.
No. But so how I framed it was, oh, hello, just so you know, on the way here, I was talking to my friend. He said, "Where are you off to?" I said, "Hawkinge." He said, "I'll never forgive you if you don't call it Hawk Minge while you're on stage." So, hello, Hawkinge.
Okay.
So that's how I
Gave
framed it.
yourself a scapegoat.
Yeah. Sure.
But it got tofu.
But it got escape corn.
Escape corn, sorry.
But that's how I framed. But that's what I mean. You roll the dice, right? That could have easily have gone the way of the long mirror in the toilet.
Yes, which
story.
I should point out was real classic. That was, how long did you do in that set? Was that 20?
Yeah.
In Canvey, yeah, that was the start of what was one of the longest sets Matt's ever done. And by that I mean it was the correct length of time, but my word, was it long.
It was,
and that's in no way offence to your comedic abilities.
No, you're just getting your own back because I was ribbing you about
I
it.
just like to bring it up whenever I can.
This tea's yellow, mate. It looks like wee.
Yeah, it's a funny colour.
It's really...
It's the colour of your wall.
It's not nice.
Oh, actually, it's got better.
It's the same colour as the biscuit packet.
Yes.
Maybe that's something to do with the ginger.
Could be.
There you go.
Mustard.
It's hot. I don't like ginger.
Do you not? Oh, I think this has got better. It mellowed out since that first taste. Which they often do. If you leave it never a bit longer, you'd think it gets stronger, but sometimes it just mellows.
It tastes like a lemsip.
Yeah, it does, yeah. It does very, very much like a honey and lemon.
It's not pleasant. But I'm going to drink it anyway.
I don't dislike it.
I do.
I prefer the rooibos.
The rooibos. It's got to be something. It says that was a South African tea, that first one, so it's got to be something like that.
Rooibos.
Rooibos. I'm not going to do
Rooibos.
that. No, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do accents.
I was sneezing, just for anyone listening.
yeah.
So I was one doing accents.
Yeah, no, I was doing an accent of a white
person from Essex trying to pronounce rooibos.
That's it, yeah. I was doing an impression of me. The best thing about this is you can edit whatever you want.
Yeah, but I've listened to this podcast and I know you do very little editing.
Yes, this is true. No, I do a lot of editing. I just leave a surprising amount of the mistakes in because I think it's funny
to give the illusion.
Yeah.
In one of them, didn't you literally get up and answer the door to someone else who was coming to the podcast?
I did. Oh, you listened to Russ's podcast? Yeah. That was Jordan Gray, who's my last guest. Have you met Jordan?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Love Jordan.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's great. She's really funny. I met her. I was at the Alex for her brother. I think it was her brother. Did his first gig at the Alex.
Yeah.
I was there for that. He was great. Dalton, I think his name is. He was great. He did very, very, very well.
Yeah, she was talking about that. Said he's just started doing comedy and he's really funny. And she hates him.
Yeah. He's very. He's got a lot of energy. He's going to do well. Annoyingly talented family.
How old is he?
I don't know, mate.
All right. I imagine you would have asked.
No.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, innit? I don't really ask people how old they are anymore.
Do you used to? Hi, I'm Matt. How old are you?
Well, kind of. Like when you think about when you're a kid. I don't know if you did this, but when I was a kid, I used to go walking up and down the high street looking for friends.
No, man.
I had other friends.
I
had other friends.
Sorry, you'd been serious? Do you actually do that?
Yeah, we used to go and walk up and down the high street.
Trying to meet friends?
Just trying to meet people. Mostly girls at that age, admittedly.
Yeah, right.
But, right.
That's slightly different.
It's weird, the tactic we used to...
Yeah.
This is how much we used to
Hello,
walk...
love. Do you like long mirrors?
No, it weren't even that. We used to walk up and down the high street and we'd look at someone that we liked and we'd look over our
Follow
shoulder.
them home.
No. If they looked back, we took that as a sign as, I like you. When now I know that was, fucking hell is he doing looking at me? Is he still looking at me?
What's that bald guy staring at me?
So then what we would do is we would immediately turn around and walk behind them, like but a safe distance behind them.
Yeah, with a cloth that had chemicals on it.
No, you're making it sound worse than what it was. All we wanted to do was
pretty
talk
bad.
to it, and we just assumed eye contact meant let's have a chat.
Yes.
And some of our chats were like, "How old are you?" Because it wasn't cool to be seen with a year 7 if you were in year 9.
Right.
So we had to make sure that we weren't,
Yeah.
inadvertently looking uncool.
Yeah.
After,
It's so weird.
from the people that we just follow. It's really freaky, isn't it?
It's so weird.
We don't do that anymore
No.
because
You choose a different street to South End High Street now.
yeah, because of the injunction.
Yeah. Oh, good grief. Oh, well, that's one of my favourite stories I've heard in a long time.
There you go.
Thanks for that. Yeah, you fucking creep.
It's weird, isn't it? Like that's how I used to meet girls when I was 14, 15. Just me and my mates used to go and walk up and down the high street, going in shops and that, and just taking eye contact as license to go and say hello.
Yeah.
But we get so nervous about saying hello that we had to follow them for about an hour after, to build up the confidence to do it.
Yeah, and then they were too nervous to reply.
Yeah, but I mean, they spent a lot of time in phone boxes back then because not everyone had mobile phones. Just going trying to look busy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've still got friends that I met that way that I speak to.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's actually successful.
Yeah. I mean,
You're blowing my mind, man.
not in terms of percentages, but I mean the sheer volume that we went through meant that I've still got a few friends that I speak to that I met like that.
So odd. That being said,
It's no different.
there's someone who I wouldn't necessarily call him a friend, but like an acquaintance, people I talk to in the street if I see them. The people that I talk to that way. When I was 15, and we used to drink big old bottles of Red Square. Which I don't think that even exists anymore, does it?
No.
It was an Alco Pop, which I don't think they exist anymore, do they?
Yeah, WKD Blues and things.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, it's sort of an equivalent of one of those for the youths that are listening that have no idea what they are. We used to drink our big old bottles of Red Square, and then walk into Lee, 'cause my mate lived in Chalkwell. We just used to walk down to the Esplanade, meet people, and we ended up meeting a load of girls. And one of my mates ended up dating one of them, and I made some friends.
Well done, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not a smooth man.
No.
Yeah, which is fine. And at the time, didn't understand it. Thought people just hated me, and now I realise I'm just odd. So it's fine.
Yeah, you're alright to be odd.
I've embraced it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the best way to go with it, mate.
yeah. So you're not going? You going to pop up to Edinburgh at all? Or?
I don't think so.
No,
Not this year, because I'm going to Canada in September, which is proven to be very expensive.
Yeah, well, it's not cheap, is it?
No, and neither is Edinburgh. So with the two being so close together, it's very unlikely that I'll be popping up there.
Yeah,
Which is a shame. I like popping up there.
yeah, it's great.
I think a weekend is about
Good
as
fun.
much as I need at the moment.
Mm.
Because I went up there as a punter before I'd even thought about going on stage myself,
Yeah,
and did 3 weeks there and loved it.
3 weeks, really. Wow.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I spent thousands of pounds,
Yeah,
but it was for my 21st birthday. I went up there, I knew a few acts because I'd been booking them,
yeah,
so I went and hung about with a few acts I knew, and it was great. Had a great time. Went back up there after I started gigging 5 years ago, 4 years ago,
5 years ago. Yeah.
something like that. And
After you started gigging.
after I started
Yeah,
gigging,
yeah. So 2014 we started.
Yeah, okay. So I've been up there 3 times since I've been gigging, and each time I've done a shorter length of time,
Right.
and each time I've hated it more and more.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I did 10 days there, which felt perfect.
That's too long.
That was the second time I went. The first time I went was 3 days, which wasn't long enough. Then I did 10 days. and then I did like 16 days, and that was all right.
But you're doing shows
That's
up
possible.
there. Yeah. See, this is the thing. I've not taken a show up there yet, and I would imagine that if you've got a show that you're proud of and that you enjoy doing, I imagine it's different all over again. But having not had that, and now actually thinking, I'm not forcing myself to do that now. That's why I'm not touching Welcome Mat anymore, because it was what it was. It did what it did. I'm not embarrassed about it, but I've just got no desire to go and do it again.
Okay.
So until I've got a show that I want to do, I don't see the rush in getting back up.
No, that's cool. I get that, but it was I think it's probably you and I just work slightly differently, because I'd say you're probably better in a club environment. And don't get me wrong, I can do well in clubs, and I have done well in clubs.
Seen you do all right
and,
in clubs. Well in clubs. Sorry, did you hear that? I said all right. I meant well.
Yeah.
I've seen you do well in clubs.
You've seen me absolutely smash it in clubs.
Yeah,
Let's just say that in case any bookers are listening. But like your sort of your general. No, well, I won't even say that, because I was going to say like sort of your normal weekend club. Like it could be a bit laddie, but even then I can have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But I love an art centre.
Yeah, I think I would probably say I was more accessible to a lower IQ. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Right, so we'll take that. So we do work slightly differently. Like I am in no rush to get back up to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I can't do the whole staying up till 4 or 5 o'clock drinking and then go back on stage the next day.
Yeah.
And because when I've gone up there, I've gone up there with like a couple of compilation shows.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm still very much learning, obviously.
Yeah.
So I want to get the most out of those. I can't do that hungover.
Yeah.
Certainly not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. And it just becomes a very expensive, because I'm doing 3 rooms and I'm doing compilation shows that I've usually put together at the last minute. I've got a room that's had a cancellation or whatever, so they're not big audiences, and I'm fine with that, but not when I've got a stinking hangover. And if you're not going out in the evening and networking, then what you've got then is one of the most expensive open mic gigs in the world, which
that's exactly what it is.
We're an hour from London. I can go and do an open mic gig that's not attended by anyone any day of the week.
Absolutely, there's so many of them.
Yeah,
so much choice.
So I'm not overly eager to get back to Edinburgh again, to be honest.
Yeah,
like I say, a weekend, go and see some shows.
See, whereas like after the first time that I did 40 minutes, I did it at the Alex that time. I sort of discovered something new about my ability as a comedian on stage, and any time that I've had the opportunity to do like sort of longer spots and sort of I think the next time I did something after 40, no, it was about 45 minutes, but the next time I did something after that was an hour, and I loved it. It's so good, and I just found this sort of ability to explore myself. But then I think that also made me better doing shorter stuff as well, like 20s and 15s.
It's certainly a good way of generating new materials to force yourself to write a show.
I don't even force it. This is something that annoys people, is I write quite prolifically, but without particularly trying.
Good.
Yeah. I just I don't know where it comes from. I just get ideas.
Go away, Simon.
Yeah.
I don't think I've written a gag for a good few weeks now.
Yeah. I've started writing longer bits. That's where that's going, which I think lends itself to shows.
I just find that in an hour show I get bored of my own voice. I mean, done it twice. I was like, I can't be asked to carry on talking. It's too long. It's too long. Like, honestly, is there? I can't think of very many hour-long shows, certainly since I started gigging, that I haven't got bored after about 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
Really?
And just started thinking, I want to go to the toilet. I want to get out of this room. I want to go for a drink. I want to just check my phone.
Really?
Yeah. Like I just think it's a long time to keep someone's attention for without a break.
That's why there's the sort of the skill of battling the 40-minute lull. And
He's definitely a skill, but even with the best comics in the world, have a break. Just have a.
imagine if everyone in Edinburgh had an interval.
I think they should. If you're going to insist on doing an hour, I think you should.
Well, this was I heard this discussed a little while ago. Is that shows in Edinburgh, they were always supposed to be designed to be like 40, 45 minutes, which is basically the exact right length of time that a show should be.
Yeah, I
imagine
guess
that. Imagine if every show was 45 minutes.
The world would be a much better place and a much funnier one.
Don't get me wrong, because I've seen a lot of incredible hour-long shows, but there is always a point where it doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what level of comedian they are. In Edinburgh, I saw one of my favourite comedians in the world, and I fell asleep. And it's only ever for about 30 seconds to a minute, but I can't stop it. I can't stop myself. As soon as I sit down and actually relax.
It's because you like what you just said, the 40-minute lull. Like that is a known thing. Stop there then.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting to get them back? They're supposed to be there having a good time. Just let them have a good time, and when they finish having a good time,
it's not always the case, because I've seen some 40-minute, I've seen some hour-long shows and longer that just keep you going.
I don't dispute that it can't be done, but I think there's not enough for it to have a whole festival about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it should be the norm. Absolutely.
But if all shows were 45 minutes, imagine how much easier.
It'd still be 10 minutes too long.
All comedy for you, just because that's doing all of your material and then standing around for 10 minutes. Sorry,
taking questions at the end.
Sorry, we are just taking shots at each other. You should be aware that this is purely from a place of love and hatred. And
where Si said he was prolific at writing is literally because he's got no quality control whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I just keep doing stuff about mirrors. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Are we done here?
mirrors and Hawkminge. That's all I've got.
Hey mate, got to laugh. What can I say?
Because you're a very funny and capable comedian.
Sure. I'm not even sure I believe that anymore.
Oh no! Well, we had this conversation earlier today that you absolutely believe it.
Yeah. I'm starting to.
Yeah, good.
Starting to feel comfortable.
As well, you should, mate. You were there a while ago. You're back there now. I've been there for a long time. I am going for a lull.
It does go in peaks and troughs, though, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Yeah.
It really does. But then again, something
I
else.
think there's you get to a certain point of you having been through so many peaks and troughs that even when you're in a trough, you're going, it'll get better.
Yeah, but then conversely, this is what I said to you earlier. Yeah. I'm enjoying it now, but at the back of my mind, going, "There's a trough coming. There is a trough coming." But you got to try and stay in the moment and enjoy it. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you've had some particularly bad troughs, but you've found your way out.
Mate.
No, I'm not saying that as a criticism. Like everyone's been there, but sort of you've been through some dark times, haven't you? So
yeah, mate. It's like anything, right? So like whether you're an elite athlete, comedian, actor, accountant. The people at the top are just the ones that didn't quit when it got hard, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's
that's what I'm hoping for.
Like
anyway.
Gary Delaney, the other day I saw him. He was talking to someone on Facebook, and they were talking about quitting because they'd had a bad review, and he sent them a private message saying, like you're funny, keep going. I quit for 3 years once. It's Gary Delaney.
Yeah.
One of the best joke writers in the world.
Where's the strangest gig you've ever done?
I don't know. There's been a few.
Yeah, I know I've asked that question. I'm trying to think.
I've done a couple. Like there was one I once did. It was a gig in Hove or Brighton. It was one of the two. I think it's in Brighton. I'll start that again. I did a gig in Brighton, and the woman booking it, she'd sent me a message and like invited me personally. I was like, "Oh, great, cool. She knows who I am. Wanted me to come down," and I went down and did it. And but like it was just an open mic night, but the payment for it was a free meal, which like sort of early days you go, great, I'm into that. Yeah, brilliant. You go down for a free meal.
Absolutely.
We got there and they said, oh sorry, the night's sold out, so there's no free food left. But you can have a drink if you want.
But there'd be money then if the night's sold out.
Well, you would think. Yes.
I took payment for a gig once. I did a gig in a private members club in Chelsea, and the, the payment was a year's membership. And literally, all that gig ends up being is other comedians that got a night off that have done the gig that just go down there and heckle.
James Acaster has a bit about that.
Does he?
In one of his Netflix shows, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the same club as James Acaster. Incredible.
Because the bit was talking about how the membership for it was doing that, and then like there was someone sort of laughing sarcastically, and he was like, "What's going on, mate?" And it's Josh Widdicombe.
I just remember.
I don't know if that's a true story, but
I remember when they told us what the payment was. They go, "It's good because it gives you exclusive."
I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, exclusive use of the whiskey room once a month, and you go, "Ooh, it's like £200 a glass of whiskey or something stupid."
Yeah,
I mean, it's not, but it's a lot of money for a glass of whiskey. And but I can't afford to drink in there because people like you won't pay me, you pricks.
Yeah.
But it was literally you had to walk down like a side alley and bang on this secret door, and a bloke in top and tails opened it and showed you inside, and it was all gorgeous people working in there, waiters and waitresses, and incredible place, but horrible gig.
Yeah, horrible environment. Yeah,
not conducive to laughing.
No.
I've also done a gig in a campsite where it started raining, so I had to abandon any mic and amp. I was just shouting into a field.
Yeah, that was a one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ones?
Yeah.
Didn't you really enjoy it?
Yeah, I smashed it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, one of his gigs.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really good. He don't book me anymore.
No, he doesn't book me anymore.
He hasn't booked me for a little while because
he started booking pro gigs, and like sort of the gigs he was booking progressed. I also progressed, but he didn't progress me to the.
Yeah. I've smashed gigs for him in rooms that shouldn't have worked.
Yeah, I've ripped gigs apart for him in rooms that were really hard.
But then I died on my arse in a room that was going very well for everyone else, because I messed up, and he hasn't booked me since.
Nice.
Which is fine. If you listen to this, I forgive you. Just
no, it's all right.
Please book me.
I've decided that I'm going to leave. I was thinking while we were talking about that is I'm going to leave that bit of conversation in, but bleep the names out and all the relevant bits about the gig, just so that he doesn't know who it is, but deep down in his heart, he knows it's him.
Yeah.
So we've gone on for a little while.
Yeah.
So
I probably need to go to bed soon.
Yeah, I probably need to go to bed as well. So let's.
How do you wrap these up?
Sort of end it. Yeah. Just Jesus. Right, there's now too much wildlife in your room, so
give the cat something to play with. Later.
Give the cat something to play with, and
also proves that net curtain does nothing.
Nightmares. That net. Yeah, there's a very small gap at the side of the net curtain which has let through about 16 moths and a daddy longlegs. What are you doing there? Getting confident? Yeah.
Just a nice mic, mate.
Yeah, what you've done there is completely changed the level of signal that's going to come into the... No, it's fine. You leave it there. Just... Oh, look at that. You messed with it. It's all gone wrong. No, it's fine. So have you got anything to plug?
Soccer PM podcast.
Of course.
Should mention that. Soccer PM Extra Time podcast. It's me and Ash Frith.
Yeah.
We do a show on Radio Essex called Soccer PM, where we cover all of the Essex football teams that are playing on a Saturday, as well as the Premier League as well.
Yeah.
And all your hit music. And then the Soccer PM Extra Time podcast is us running up the action from the previous week and looking forward to the week ahead.
Great.
With a focus around the Essex football teams, but we do also touch on the Premier League.
You've had quite a lot of fun times with that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been going really well. We've started to build up a bit of a fan base now. We've been interviewing some footballers. I mean, I'm a Southend fan, so it's a dream come true for me anyway.
I mean, just before this, you were interviewing Southend's new player who's in...
Yeah, Brandon Goodship.
Yeah.
He's the new signing at Southend United.
Where is he? Italy?
He's in Italy.
Yeah.
He was in Italy tonight, yeah. So we phoned him out there. He was a very nice man. Got to talk to him.
Lovely.
It was very fun. So that, and The only other thing I mentioned now, I'm sure Ross mentioned it, is we're doing this right at the very start of the Southend Festival.
Yeah.
And there's lots of cool stuff. Size, you've already done your opening
I've already
show
done my show, yeah. But I'm going to be recording a live episode of this podcast on Sunday the 7th of July.
Do you know who the guest is?
Yes. Well, hopefully. I'm talking to someone and I'm just... I'll let you know. I'll let you know after. But it's
talking to someone famous and he can't say who it is.
It's a very exciting guest who, if I can get him on, it'll be great. It'll be really good. Yeah. If not, I've got some other good options. Very, very good options.
Ash Frith will be ecstatic. He's on your reserve list.
Yeah, yeah. No, he was on the first list, but he's taken too long to come on the podcast. No, that's not true. Well, he has taken a long time, but he's busy. I'm busy. We've both been busy when we're busy. So
yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, I haven't got anything else to plug. Soccer PM, Extra Time Podcast, Southend Comedy Festival for
Where
Ross.
can you find that podcast? On all good podcast apps?
Yeah, if you just search Radio Essex into anything, it's on there. We pretty much dominate the Radio Essex feed.
Yeah.
Apart from, there's a few good interviews with like Ollie Murs on there.
Yeah.
If you get a bit.
You didn't do that?
No, I didn't do that.
No.
But,
Yeah, he's an Essex lad, isn't he? Ollie Murs? Yeah.
He's done a song with Snoop Dogg, mate.
Incredible.
How about that?
Yeah.
Never thought I'd say that.
But that's it. You keep on your Soccer PM. You too will do a song with Snoop Dogg.
I'll retire the day after that.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any better than that. Mate, I've had a really good time.
Yes, me too. Thanks very much for coming up. Thanks for having me at your house.
No, you're very welcome.
And it's been really good fun. What are your social... It's just we said it already, didn't we?
Yeah, at Matt.
Twitter is at Matt Adlington.
At Matt Adlington. Instagram, I'm certain, is Matt Adlington05, and Facebook is Matt Adlington Comedian.
You sure?
Nope.
It sounds about right.
Yeah. Probably come up, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Just search Matt Adlington, you'll find it.
Yeah, I'm on most of social medias.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's been a lot of fun.
Cool, thanks
very much.
Thank you.
And I love you all. Bye. What did you say? Okay. Do you want to say bye?
Oh, sorry. Bye. I thought you'd stopped.
Well, that was very fun. That was really enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed it too. I enjoyed listening back to it and editing it. So yeah, hopefully it does all translate well. And was very fun. Any abuse between the two of us was purely out of love, because we're very good friends. So don't you worry yourselves. I just want to say I seem to have regular listeners in sort of all over the world now. There's some in Australia and other countries. I probably shouldn't list the countries because I can't remember where they are, but they're all over the place, which is amazing. And if you are one of those listeners, please do get in touch. I know there's one of them is in Europe somewhere, has followed my Instagram account, so I know they listen in, and same with some of the Australian listeners. So that's really cool. I really like that. That's amazing. So yeah, if you're listening, let me know where you're listening from, because I'd love to find out how far away my listeners are getting. So just drop me a message on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Just say, hey, I'm in so and so place. That'd be cool. It'd be good to hear from you. But with that in mind, if you do want to get in touch, you can email me as well, or Twitter or Instagram, or on the Facebook page. You can do so. Just search The Comedians Tea Party or at Tea Party Pod on anything. Email is teapartypod@gmail.com, which is the letter T, party pod, which is true of all the other tags as well. If you want to follow Matt anywhere on the social medias, he is on Twitter at Matt Adlington. On Instagram is Matt Adlington05. And on Facebook, just search Matt Adlington Comedian and you'll find him. You can also listen to his podcast that he does. If you're at all into football, even if you're not, it'll be a fun podcast to listen to, because both Matt and Ash, who he does the podcast with, very funny. And Ash is going to be on the podcast soon also. So yeah, go and listen to that. That is the Extra Time podcast, available on all good podcast apps. On that note, whilst you are on those podcast apps, just go and drop a little subscribe and a like, and drop a 5-star review on this one, because it helps with visibility and the like, and it makes me feel warm inside. Because I mean, several people got in touch and told me, for instance, that the Jordan Gray episode was their favourite episode so far, and that's lovely. That shows that, you know, I'm progressing, doing something well, or you just prefer Jordan Gray to everyone else that I've had on so far. Any of those things are possible, but I really appreciate the feedback either way, because it's just lovely. It's really kind. Thanks very much for listening, everyone. I'll see you soon, and don't forget to come to the live recording with Stuart Goldsmith tomorrow, Sunday the 7th of July 2019. If you're listening to this in the future, keep listening to the podcast, because his podcast will be coming out soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.